Hi guys, first of all let me introduce myself. My name is Steven and my nickname is SFSCALPER. I'm a scalper, but trades I made are sometimes in a scalping point of view, sometimes a little bit longer range of trading. Now today I want to introduce you one of my best trading strategy. I use it for years and it's based on my experience of over 20 years. And this strategy is really something, it really gives me a lot of success, a lot of good opportunities. I have a couple of strategies like this, but this time I want to share with you this strategy, which is very useful and can be used in any kind of markets, in trend market, range market, swing markets, and it works on all platforms. It is not important the platform or the broker you're using. You can use it either on Forex, futures, stocks, commodities, anything that produces a financial market graph valid. It is useful for this strategy. I call my strategy the SF Scalper Shuffle, because it is a shuffle, is a deviation of a trade, which usually give a very high percentage positivity on the trades, win trade percentage, and it gives very clear stop loss and profit positions. And I use it all the day long, and you can use it on any asset. I usually follow around 21 different assets between Forex, commodities and futures, and it helps me make something like 20 to 40 trades per day, so I have enough fun and I make enough money and I'm quite active in the market. And I'm not the kind of guy that stays 10 hours on front of the screen, not at all. I stay just 2 or 3 hours in front of the screen, but I follow several assets. Now this strategy is based on the Bollinger Bands, so let's go straight forward to check out the graph I prepare for you. It's on my platform. Is a CFD platform for just for reference. It's not a platform I'm trading, but is enough for making this test. Let me check it out. Let me find it. Here it is. Check it out. Okay, and then I use it here, the a strategy tester, which follows markets, backtest the markets visually. So I don't like the strategy tester which doesn't give me visual on the markets. I follow always visually the markets. So let's try and test this strategy so I can easily explain to you. Please bear in mind that I'm not selling anything here. I just want to share with you this strategy. This video will last just 10 minutes or a little more, but wait until the end because I'm going to explain you all the best things about this strategy, the do's and don'ts, and especially which kind of signal to follow and which kind of signal to avoid. This way you will increase a lot your win trade and you learn a new signal that probably is not in your basket. So let's check it out. We are on the strategy tester. I use the Japanese candlestick. I set up 30 minutes time frame. You can set up any time frame you like to trade, but for my experience 30 minutes is the best, but you can set up an hour or more or even less. The strategy works best on 30 minutes for what is my experience, but anyway you can choose anything you like. Let's try first on the euro dollar. Let me start on euro dollar. Let's choose any kind of time backtest time frame, because you have a lot of 30 minutes bar in a day, so just few days is more than enough for this testing. Here is the indicator, and the only thing I'm going to add here is the Bollinger Bands indicator, which is with standard deviation 2 as usual and 20 periods, so it's a very standard indicator. Put it on pause. Let me check the lots. Okay, we start with this simulation and I'm going to show you which is my signal. First of all, as always, you have to check out which is the main market trend. You never must go against the trend, but it's enough to have a look to the trend to understand here that we had recently a long trend, but now we have a big short impulse, so price can react in both ways. But what we're looking for here is basically reaction just outside of the Bollinger Band. So let's go to have a close look, and I'm going to tell you what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is for a big bar, a long bar that will close out of the Bollinger Bands, either on the lower Bollinger Bands or on the upper Bollinger Band. This is my first signal, and the confirmation signal is that the second bar must be strong and in opposite direction, closing inside the Bollinger Bands, and this gives me the entry signal. Like in this case, I would go long because it's a clear long signal. I will put my stop loss well below the the lower price of the first signal bar, not of the confirmation bar, and then my profit will keep going until I think it's valuable. Keep it going. In this case, also I have a closing outside of the Bollinger Bands, but I don't have a good reaction. The reaction stops just on top of the upper Bollinger Band, so it's not a signal for me. Here again is not a good signal for me. Here is a good signal for me because we have a closing outside and a Bollinger Band that reverse with a very strong momentum on the opposite direction. So I would enter at the close of this bar, put the stop loss here, and follow until the next level. Now let me spend a couple of words on the Bollinger Bands. And first of all, I want to thank Mr. Bollinger because I'm using them for decades. It's more than 20 years I'm a pro trader, and less than 20 years I work on Forex, but before I was using futures. And I want to really thank Mr. Bollinger for this indicator, which is the only useful indicator for scalpers. All other indicators are tried, momentum indicators, reversal indicators, stochastic, and whatever. Don't let me make the names. I don't use any other indicator, just the Bollinger Bands. So as for definition, the Bollinger Bands is based on a medium average, moving average of 20 periods, which is the yellow line in the middle, and then you have two other lines that go with different direction, different opening, and different distance, depending on three important data, which mostly is volatility and volume. So the most the prices move, the most the Bollinger Bands will open. We don't use the 20 period Bollinger Bands as a signal or as a support or resistance. Never do that, this would be a mistake. But as for definition from the same Mr. Bollinger, which I wish to thank again, for definition, a price which is on above the median level of the Bollinger Band, a price which is above on the Bollinger Band is considered a high price, and a price which is below the median average of the Bollinger Band is considered a low price, lowest price. This does not mean that the price will revert immediately to long or short, because we have experienced that price can go and stay in overbought condition or in near the upper bands for very long period. So this is not a signal. What most people do, they use Bollinger Band as resistance and support. So when they see a price that touch or go just out of the Bollinger Band, it goes with a trade in opposite direction. This is absolutely wrong. You need second confirmation to do that, and also in some cases you have to follow the trend, and so you go straight directly toward the break of the Bollinger Band. In this case, I have two or three other signal. I have two other signal that works very good on the Bollinger Band, but in this case we are checking for the shuffle. So for for the fixed signal of breakout, and when occur that the price come back inside the Bollinger Bands, and so you can trade and have a scalp, which lasts usually couple of bars, and it's enough to make some good trade. So let's check it out and go forward for this simulation. Now here is what I'm checking. I'm just waiting for a bar to go just outside the Bollinger Bands, and a second bar that confirms the signal. Here I have exactly an entry here at because the bar is good enough to enter, and I would exit as soon as the bar goes on the lower part of the Bollinger Bands. This is enough to make a good scalp of some 20-30 pips, which for a scalper is more than enough. And then I go forward and look for the second signal. Let me go a little bit faster so you can check what kind of trading I'm making. So what we look here is a price, a bar that closed well outside the Bollinger Band. This is the first signal. Here it is, it closed, but we don't have a price. Let me make a pause. Let me pause it up for a second. Here we have bars that close just outside, very well outside the lowest Bollinger Band, and this is the first, let's say the ignition signal. But we don't have a confirmation signal that would be a bar exactly on the opposite direction, and possibly strong or stronger than this bar without no limit. Even if it go to the median average, then to the moving average, then we can go long and we can target the highest part of the Bollinger Band. So here we are waiting basically for a reaction. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see if it comes out. And it must come just after a price that closes outside the Bollinger Band. We don't have any closing outside the Bollinger Band that allows us to go in. In this case, I lose the trade, even if there is some good trade or some trade in opposite direction, some reversal. I lose the trade. I will not stop now. I'll go forward without pausing. I will recognize entry possibilities on the fly. Here there is no bar closing outside. We have to wait for a bar that closes well outside. Here it is. This is not good enough. This is not a good signal because the bar closes back just on the line of the Bollinger Bands. So we're still looking for a bar that closes out. Here is a good outside. Let's see if some good inside. If you have some good, here is a red inside. Here is good for entering short. Absolutely. Here is good for entering short, and we can close just when the bar comes close to the lowest bar of the Bollinger Band. In this case we have easy another good scalp. Now we go forward and check if we have again another possibility of scalping. This is the night time. Here outside, inside. Here we go in, and again we take it and we close it closest to the lowest Bollinger Band. I don't know why prices here are not moving and my trade is not going forward. Let me pause this. Let me go to another asset. Let's perhaps choose a completely different kind of asset with very liked by the scalpers anyway. Let's go to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq, same period of time, same time frame, 30 minutes. So let's start with this simulation of real price. These are real prices, and I'll put my Bollinger Bands indicators over here. Okay, now shortly the simulation will start. First thing we have to do, we have to check out, put in pause a moment, we have to check which is the main trend. The main trend here, we had a very strong long impulse and a short impulse that we didn't cover the long impulse at all. So we can say that we can expect trades in both directions. A good signal, a strong signal, is always good for a scalp, even though possibly we could prefer long signals. Let's check out the simulation. Here we go. Here is we have a closeout, possible entry. Here we close out. Here is a good closeout and a close down. These are all good entries. Let's see if I can get one live. Simulation is very fast. Usually each bar lasts 30 minutes, so you have enough time to enter. And here we have a good signal, long signal here. And I follow and I close the scalp when I see that the momentum is fading, in this case, because it's a good, it's a very strong signal. Let's close it here. And we look for another entry. Bar outside, bar inside. And here we go again. I enter very late, but still I make a good scalp. Close it here. Okay, I should have entered just here, but my enter was here. My start of the trade was here, so it's a big mistake. Now let's check out for another possible trade. Outside closing, inside closing, but not. Now, why didn't I go in this trade? Because this bar, which should have given me the signal, it closes more or less on the line of the upper Bollinger Band. So this means continuation or of the trend, or trading range. Doesn't mean a reversal. So I'm not really confident on this signal. Let's go forward. Let's see if we see if we can get another signal for your reference. Now we are going in the night time, and never enter the squeeze. Don't trade within the squeeze. You have enough time to wait for when the bars are open, so when there is enough volatility, so you have a good possible take profit point, and you don't trade the peanuts, because when there is a squeeze, here is finished, is a squeeze, so let's forget about it. And so please remember, let me make a moment, a pause. Please remember that my signal, the scalper shuffle, it requires just 3 setups and 3 mindset to always keep in mind. Always follow the main trend of the graph. Never go against the main trend of the graph. A good trader always understands which is the main trend, and I'm not talking about trend of months or weeks, but the trend of the last 3 days. You have to see if the market is trending or is ranging, so you can choose whether to trade all in one direction or in both directions. And if the trend is strong, never go against the trend. Wait for the signal to then make lower minimums or higher or upper highers to signal a change of trend before changing your trading with it. So stay out of squeezes. When the Bollinger Band squeeze, and it happens sometimes, stay out of trading. Wait for the next move and wait for the big bar to close outside the Bollinger Bands as a first ignition signal. After that, you can wait for the confirmation signal and enter inside the trade. Third important point, you are a trader, so you are in charge of your trades, and you can clearly choose the best beautiful setup. So just don't take any setup, any signal just to enter in the market, but wait for a good setup. If you follow 3, 4 or more assets, you will have a lot of signals, a lot of trading opportunities during the single days. It's a signal that is really funny and gives a lot of trading power and number of trading to the traders. If you have questions, any question, or if you want to trade with me live, I make lives on YouTube every day. Just contact me on sfscalper.com. The site is in Italian, but fill up the form, get in touch with me, and we will make a live for you, and you can join our viewers, and possibly in the future we will also make English language lives, and also you can check all the other services. I'm not here to selling anything, so let's go back and check out again another graph, so maybe you can catch better what is the idea and what is the signal that I'm trying to explain you. It takes a lot of testing, it takes a lot of experience to manage to master this signal. It seems very simple, but it is not. You have to choose the right bar that is give the strength to the move. You don't have to set for a simple bar because you can easily go and be stopped out. So you have the full power to choose a very good bar. So now let's check for another pair. Let's check for a, I don't know, let's check for a, again for a Forex pair. Forex pair is the one I prefer because they have a lot of, they're always on the move. Let's check a very common pair, and yeah, and a pair that moves very much, perhaps the sterling Canadian. Okay, let's go. Setup is always the same, 30 minutes time frame. I put the Japanese candle just because I prefer, but you can do it also with the bars. So if you prefer that, set up the standard Bollinger Band deviation and as a normal speed. Let's put in pause. Let's check it out. What is the main trend in this graph? The main trend is absolutely long, but you see, trader must recognize these points in a second. We are in a absolutely long trend, but here we have three maximum price that are one. Let's see if we can see here that are going lower. So we can consider lower trading, even though here we have a very strong signal to go long. Okay, so we have to understand the market. If we will have another maximum lowest than this and a sign down, the market could turn lower. But at this point we are still in an upper trending market, so we go for longs. We look for long signal. So let's start it out, the signal. Let's see when it will give. Oh, some trade is open. Let me close it. Okay, here. Let's see when it will close very outside the Bollinger Bands to give us that signal. Now we have kind of a squeeze, but you never have a real squeeze with here. Stop. Here we have a beautiful. This is a very strong momentum upward because we have closing just below the bands, but then we have two long bars and a good bar inside the Bollinger Bands. So we go just a little forward. Let's see if we have a better price. No, the price go. The time has been lost. That was a good trade. Let's wait for another trade. This is another maximum price. So we are still in the. I wouldn't have lost that trade if I was in a normal market for sure, because the graph moves much slower than that. I can also take stop loss. I don't mind them. Here is again a very good signal. It stopped a little. Maybe we can test a short here for a scalp short, but I'm not going for it at this time. What I'm looking for is for a close really outside the Bollinger Bands. Let's check it out if we can get some. The strongest is the closed, the strongest will be the movement. Here we have a lot of signals, again up. Here we could have tried a scalping short, but at this speed I'm not comfortable making trades. I have to lower down a bit the speed. Let's check if we can go some other trade. Again, what I'm looking for is for a bar that closes well outside the Bollinger Bands. Here we have one. But this is following the trend, so it just would give me a very dangerous and little scalp. If I have another signal like this on the lower band, I would definitely go long. See, the job of the trader is waiting. You have to wait for a very good signal. You cannot put and accept any any kind of signal just to get in the market. Good traders are 99% out of one moment. Just stop here, just stop here, just stop here. Okay, this is a very strong, powerful, long signal which I'm going to take. But what I was going to tell you, that strong traders stay out of the market 90 to 99% of the time, and then just choose the good signal, go in and go out as soon as they have decent profits. So here I would enter the trade long. Here goes upside, just upside here, because I put a very big spread because when I make my testing I want to exaggerate with cost. Let's see if it will pay me. This signal is a very strong signal. You can wait for some reaction to the prices, is no problem, but the signal was good. Let's see if it will pay me. It will pay me not much because the price I got is too high, but you have to recognize when the momentum is strong, and at this point we have a very strong upper momentum. Let's see if it will pay me. And now I have to close on an extension. Here I close and I get again this trade. You see, it's so fast that I can close in time. The simulation is so fast I can close in time this trade. So I hope you understand which are the basics of this of my signal. Always remember what are the setups that you must look for. So follow always the main trend, stay out of squeezes, and choose beautiful setup. So if you want to contact me, have some more information, or to learn about some more technique, some more strategies I use every day to have fun and make good gains in the market, just keep in touch with me with SFSCALPER. I hope you liked this video. If so, please leave a like in this page and subscribe this page to receive more and more video. For the time being, I thank you so much for viewing, and till the next time, have good trading.